Hello everyone, we are playing some Scam Nauseam in Modern today. So this is another attempt at iterating on the Thassa's Oracle Angel's Grace Spoils deck, and the idea I had was that a lot of the problems that the deck can sometimes have are that maybe you draw the wrong half of your combo. You draw like 2 or 3 Angel's Graces and no spoils, or you draw an Angel's Grace and no spoils but no Oracle. So what can you do with those extra cards that you have in your hand that are combo pieces that you can't necessarily use for comboing? Well, we can play Solitude and Grief and turn them into meaningful interaction. This also lets us play Ephemerate in order to scam the Grief and Solitude. To keep our black and white counts high, we are also playing a couple Emiria's Call and a couple Malakir Rebirth. The Malakir Rebirth also helps us scam if needed. And then Micromancer kind of ties everything together, being something that can go get either Grace or Spoils or even Ephemerate if needed. And then you can also get Micromancer, Ephemerate Micromancer, get both halves of your combo if the game is a little bit slower. The One Ring provides some draw and card advantage to make up for the fact that we are using all of these pitch spells. And Troll and Eagles here are, again, lands that are colored for Grief and Solitude. So that's the idea. We're going to try to play some Scam Nauseam. Let's see how it goes. Round number 1, we are on the draw. I like our hand a decent amount. We do have land, a couple mana accelerants. We have 2/3 of the combo. We do have this sort of interesting situation where if we play Malakir on turn 1, we could potentially play a turn 2 Talisman, but if we don't, we can potentially scam a Solitude. I think I am going to keep this, and let's see what I draw on turn. Well, I'm definitely keeping it. And then the question is, what do I draw on turn 1? And I'll see what's going on there before I decide how I'm playing this. Okay. Our opponent plays a Young Wolf, so they're in Yawgmoth, so I definitely like Solitude here. I think I'm going to lead on the Delta, and then we're going to go for a Scryland, and we are going to probably try to scam the Solitude out. A little bit heavy on Talismans here. But, I mean, we are holding the scam ability up right here. Let's see what our opponent plays. They've got another Young Wolf attacking. So I don't necessarily feel the pressure to take these Young Wolves out quite yet. I would like to be able to make sure that I'm going to get something useful here. So I'm going to get a Meticulous Archive, I think. Although, actually, that was a mistake. I should have gotten the Undercity Sewers. And I can't really afford this. Well, if I play Malakir Rebirth, maybe I could. That does slow me down, but it does give me access to my combo. I think I am actually going to keep this. And then I'm going to play Malakir. And I do just have regular Solitude here if I need it. If not, then I can just start playing out Talismans. Hopefully I draw like an untapped land, and then I can Talisman next turn. It's still not the worst if I don't, but then I would like to draw a white card so I just have this Solitude up. So they've shipped another Young Wolf. And let's see what they've got. They have a Strangleroot guy, so they have all of the Undying guys. Again, they're going to hit us for a little bit. 4, put us to 14. I'm very much concerned about land Yawgmoth next turn. Solitude is really not going to be the best there. I mean, we pick up a Sewers. Do I need another Solitude? I don't think we do. If I have to pitch this Solitude, I'm going to be in a spot where I need to draw another white card. I don't think the extra Solitude is really what we need. Now, if we don't have to spend the Solitude, untapped land next turn can do it. If we do have to spend the Solitude, I'm going to be a little more concerned. They do just have infinite if they have the Yawg. Hit us to 10. A tapped land. So maybe we get a chance here. Untapped land. That is close, but in fact not an untapped land. So I could... If I get a troll... Yeah, troll's just going to get me a land. And so it's just mana neutral. Spoils... Yeah, I think it's very likely Yawg coming down next turn. And Solitude is not going to be enough there with 3 of these. The question is there anything I can spoils for? Maybe I could spoils for Grief and then pitch the troll to the Grief. That feels very risky. And then I would have to top deck again next turn. On the other hand, let's say that they are comboing with the 3 of these. And maybe there's some chance that it doesn't kill me. I don't like this. I mean, like maybe they draw, well, no, they're infinite there, but they're infinite as far as the amount of life they have. And I can Solitude the Yawgmoth in response to whatever's going to go get the... Yeah, in response to whatever's going to go get the... What's it called? The, Alright, we'll take Godless Shrine. Yeah, I can Solitude the Yawg in response to whatever's going to go get the Blood Artist if they have it, and then I get a chance to top deck something. I should have left a black card up for spoils, really. Because my odds are not great. Unless they just, like, don't have a Yawg. Maybe they don't. Draw Oracle. I mean, that's interesting. How much mana do I have? 7 mana? They could have Endurance. I think, is there any way I can spoils for something useful here? I don't have Pact. I don't have the black card for Grief. So I think it is just go for it. And I could spoils for a second Oracle, maybe. Or actually, I could save the spoils and spoils away if they have an Endurance. So that's actually better. So we'll name Simian Spirit Guide. The Oracle. Let's see what you got. All right, get there. It was a little bit dicey, and we could have been in trouble if they had a Yawg, but fortunately they didn't. So we'll bring in our removal, Spell Pierce, or Fatal Push and Prismatic Ending to keep the colors balanced. Cards I feel like I need a little bit less of. I feel like we could cut a Talisman. I feel like we could cut a copy of the Ring. This deck feels very difficult to sideboard with. Maybe we can cut a Micromancer. And maybe we can cut another Talisman. Alright, so let's go like that. Yeah, so with a deck like this where we really don't want to be sideboarding much, we want just like a few higher impact cards for each matchup, which is definitely not what I have in this current sideboard, but it is something that I was just sort of testing, or, you know, I just kind of threw a sideboard together because I wanted to put out a video on this, but I, you know, if I'm refining this further and, you know, let's see how things go, I may not, then I may end up doing some more, you know, specific choices in the sideboard. But, you know, we're up 1-0 over Yawg, so that's nice. And I feel like there was some mismatch with what was in their hand, though. Like, if they had a Grist, they would have played it. If they had any creature, they would have played it. They could have just had more lands, but I think that seems unlikely. So, did they have removal? Maybe they drew a Bowmasters on the most recent turn. Could have had like a Bowmasters that they were saving to flash in on our end step. Soul Cauldron they would have played. Yeah, I don't know what they could have that they wouldn't have played. Maybe Cord. They could have had a Cord. Yeah, we'll keep this. So we have a Troll to cycle on turn 1. And then on turn 2 we can like play Talisman. So that's good. We've got a turn 1 Young Wolf. Okay. We do have a second land, so we could think about not cycling this Troll on turn 1 and instead getting a Surveil land, and then turn 2 untapped land Talisman, and then retain the ability to cycle Troll on end step. And this way, if we draw a black card, we don't have to pitch our Wish Claw to this Troll, we can just pitch the Troll. Or if we draw a Grief, I mean, sorry. The second land is a Dryad Arbor. I would be very interested in drawing a Solitude that I could do some things with right now. Then they've got a Delighted Halfling. So yeah, if we were to find a Solitude, we could really cut them off of mana. I'm going to get a Meticulous Archive for white for the Ephemerate if needed. I do not need the Talisman. Hallowed Fountain. Okay. Well, play that. We'll play a Talisman. And again, we retain the ability to cycle Troll. Next turn, we could play the One Ring. Would be nice. Maybe we try and get somewhere off of that. So our opponent does have access to 4 mana this turn. They could just have a Yawgmoth now. Looks like they do. Unless it's a Grist, but no, it's a Yawgmoth. Okay. Alright, I mean, they have their Yawgmoth. So we'll see what they do with it. We're going to attack with the Young Wolf. Solitude is definitely what we need. Here, I am going to cycle the Troll. Grief is a little bit less useful here, given what they have on the board. And I'm going to get a Swamp so I have the option for an untapped card for Ring if needed. Like a good untapped land. So I could Wish Claw. Go get a Solitude. Solitude the Yawgmoth. Ephemerate it. And try to wipe their board. Problem is, I mean, what do they get with the Wish Claw? I guess honestly maybe that's the play, because then they'll go get something with the Wish Claw, but then the Wish Claw's back to me with 1 counter on it, and I have their Ring. I think I'm willing to risk that. I mean, they maybe get a hate card, but then I can probably get the answer for whatever that hate card is. And they do get to potentially draw some cards here, but we're going to see how much they're going to be willing to commit. Because, I mean, the alternative is I just play the Ring, and then they, like, play a Young Wolf, and they just kill us in response to their Ring. I don't like that as much. I like trying to make something happen here. Exile the Angel's Grace. We'll stack the Evoke trigger below the Exile trigger. Exiling Yawgmoth. Then after this, we aim to Ephemerate and take out probably the Halfling. Maybe the Dryad. Probably the Halfling. But again, let's see what they sack or not. Okay, so they took out the Halfling, putting a counter on the Young Wolf. We could let that happen. Wolf's gonna come back, sure. Gonna let that happen. So now we can take out the Dryad. Okay, yes, I'm gonna Ephemerate my Solitude. And then we can take out the Dryad Arbor. Put them down to 2 mana. And now we've scammed out a Solitude. Taken out 3 of their creatures. And next turn, we on our upkeep, we get a rebound, and we can, scan, or we can hit something else with this Solitude, whether that's this Young Wolf or something else that they might play. It does also put the pressure on them and kind of make it hard for them to play a card this turn. We'll see if they use this Wish Claw. I think they probably shouldn't, but you never know. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I think if we didn't have access to that line, I think we were probably pretty dead in that spot. I'm not going to block because I don't want to let my Solitude not get the rebound. Here I could trade, but then I could take 2 damage to rebound it and then have the Solitude again. I mean, the downside is if they kill the Solitude, then, okay, they get us, but sure. I mean, whatever. Okay. All right. So we're going to rebound Solitude. And we can exile. Let's exile the Stranglegeist. Draw for turn. We've got a copy of the One Ring. I'm going to save this and probably get a Surveil land on end step. Spoils is a good pickup. It's a card we need. Again, we'll see, are they willing to send this Talisman back to us? I will block, well, will I block the Young Wolf here? Actually, I may not. Because I do preserve the ability to re-ephemerate this Solitude. I have a Grist. I mean, that's really not that scary. Shouldn't attack with this because they shouldn't give me the choice, yeah. Here we get Sewers. Don't need Namira's Call. We're going to lose a life to the Ring. Grief is definitely a draw. It's not the worst. We have Delta. We can play another copy of the Ring. And we do have 2/3 of the combo right now. Or we play like a Grief and just pass with that. I think I'm more likely to play the extra copy of Ring. And I think it's going to be 3 cards either way. I'm assuming I probably have to win next turn. I'm actually going to fetch this land out before I draw. We pick up Ephemerate. That's interesting. That is very interesting. So I can play the Talisman here. And I still have Ephemerate up. So we'll see what they do. Because if they try to play like the Yawg, I potentially have the Ephemerate for it. If they play some sort of other hate creature, I can Ephemerate. So I don't want to just like burn this right away. Got another Young Wolf. But again, they are choked on mana. And they're in this weird spot where they like really can't afford to give us Wishclaw back because they're probably right in assuming that they're basically going to die on the spot if they do. I am in trouble versus this Grist, though. I need to draw something. And I guess they only have 1 creature in their yard. Okay, alright, maybe I'm not. But between the life loss from the Ring, it's starting to, and the 1-off to take from this Talisman, it's starting to feel a little bit sketchy. Could have attacked with this Solitude to gain some life, Could have been worth thinking about. But we'll see what they're going to keep doing. I mean, seems like nothing so far, but you never know. We could also ephemerate this grief out. Potentially. Like if we grief them, we see what they need to do. So if they don't play anything else threatening, I probably will not burn this ephemerate. And then preserve the ability to like hard cast grief ephemerate depending on what I draw between the ring and my draw for turn. That also lets me gain a few life with Solitude and maybe be more likely to survive their next turn if I have to pass again. I also don't take the damage from this talisman, so yeah, I like holding on to the ephemerate here. We're going to take 1 off of our ring. Draw for turn. Micromancer will get us Angel's Grace, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can draw with the ring first. If we get a untapped mana, we do just get there. Spoils is not going to do it. It does let us grief scam with Ephemerate, though. And then, so I could grief scam with Ephemerate. I can either play Micromancer or just ending. I maybe need to ending Wishclaw. So if that's 2 mana, 1, 2. I grief scan. So 1, 2 for ending, 1 for Ephemerate, 4 for Micromancer. Yeah, so I can do all 3 of those things, have the combo in my hand next turn, grief scam them, and ending away this Wishclaw. So I think that's pretty reasonable. And I can think about Solitude attacking Grist. Let me see what they have in their hand with the grief. The other play is that we spoils for a Grace now, or, but I mean, if we don't have, I mean, we have 3 Graces in our deck. We need to have one in the top 9 cards, otherwise we're dead. I think that's a risk that we shouldn't take. So I am gonna grief scam here. We save the ability to Ephemerate and or Micromancer as needed. So let's see what we hit with this grief. So there's Shieldred and 2 Court of Callings. So the Shieldred doesn't really matter. Chords they could play, so I am gonna take a chord. And then I can go for an Ephemerate on the grief. And the Solitude can hit the Shieldred on our upkeep before we draw a card. If they don't trade it, I guess. Yeah, so they kind of have to chord here. They don't. Okay. So I'm going to take the chord and let that happen. And then we can play a Micromancer. Get an Angel's Grace. We can also hold the Grace up. But I don't think we're going to need to. So I could also get another Ephemerate. That also seems not great. Alright. I think I want to attack with this Solitude. I'm going to attack Grist. And, I mean, if they block, then I gain life, so I'm reasonably happy about that. I have some blockers for their attack. Again, they can just, like, draw land and play Shieldred, but, I mean, so... And then the question is, do I ending this Wishclaw? And I think I probably do. Now they're, I mean, they have Grist, but we have the full combo in hand. They just have a Shieldred. and nothing else that they can do. I think they should have taken some action there at some point. Whether that was maybe a courting in response to the Ephemerate on the Grief or something. Because Grist or Shieldred is not going to do it here. Yeah, so I mean, okay, we've got Shieldred, but we just Grace on our upkeep, draw all the cards we want. We could also just Ephemerate the Solitude and kill it. So we just have an embarrassment of riches. We'll target the Solitude. Take out the Shieldred. Lose life to the ring. Draw some cards. Draw for turn. Got Grace. Got Oracle. We've got hold priority. Spoils. All right, that was a pretty cool first round. Let's get into the next. Round 2, we win the die roll, and we are on the play. Our hand is... I mean, it can be good, but we absolutely need to draw a land on turn 2, otherwise we lose. I don't think this is worth the risk. And we could spoils for a land, but we don't have any 4-ofs. No, it's close, but I don't think we can get this. This hand is better, I think. So we can ship one of these talismans. On turn 1, we can play a tapped Hallowed Fountain. So, I mean, maybe we just draw a nice Angel's Grace and then get there. That would be ideal. Commercial District is probably not that scary, although this could be some sort of Slick Shot Prowess, which could be a little scarier, but it's still probably fine. I'm going to play Archive tapped. We're going to leave that on top. So unfortunately, because we drew the tap land, we don't have the turn 3 here. But we do have a pretty clean turn 4. And are they going to plot a show off? Okay. Oh, they have a Necromancer. Okay. I'm sure. Question is, can they kill us this turn? Play Talisman of Hierarchy. We do have Grace to live if we had to, but then I mean we're dead on our upkeep, so not dead on our upkeep, but you know it's not. We basically need to top deck another Grace if that's the case. I mean they'd have to really have the nuts to have it on turn 3 here. They could. Channeler, pass, okay. Untap, draw. Alright, so we have it. So we're going to Grace. We will Oracle. Oracle on the stack. Or trigger on the stack, spoils. I mean Spirit Guide. Alright. Nice and easy. Turn 4, just the way we drew it up. Our opponent is playing like a Prowess, Storm, something or other. So I like Fatal Push. Spell Pierce could be interesting. Thought Seize could also be interesting. Ending, yeah, I mean, Ending can definitely be good against like a Prowess style thing. I'm a little less interested in Grief. Well, no, I mean, Grief can be good. We do need speed, though. There are sorcery speeds, so Ring should still be good. Grief really seems to be not at its best here. Solitude seems like the better creature. Although if there's Storm, then Grief is better. But like yeah, I think we're trimming the Griefs. It feels crazy to trim Grief Scam though. I mean Prowess though is like semi a burn deck. The question is I don't know how much combo and how much Prowess this is. I assume a Necromancer probably actually means it's more combo. So maybe then we are more interested in this Grief. If we can hit like a Breach or something, we at least still are shaving. I could shave some copies of the Ring. Ring could be a little bit slow. Micromancer can be a little bit slow, and they're not exactly discarding us. So maybe we go like that. Alright, so we've got... So we could scam a Solitude. Malakir. I'm going to keep this. This hand can do different things. We have a Micromancer if this game goes a bit longer. This Troll is going to turn into a land. And this Eagles is pitch food for Solitude. So let's see. In turn 1, it's going to be Water Grave untapped, and then either scam the Solitude if needed, or just play Troll if needed. Or cycle Troll, I mean. If we cycle Troll, we'll probably get a Surveil land to just kind of keep our card quality up. Our opponent has mulled to 5, so having the ability to wipe out 2 creatures in our opening hand with them on a mull to 5 feels pretty good. They've passed through their opening turn. Okay, that's bold. So I think I'm going to play the Delta here, because now maybe I don't actually need to turn this Troll into a land immediately. I could hold it back a little bit if I draw Grief. I can, get more Surveil lands or something. They've played their Scalding Tarn. So the question is, did they draw that for turn, or did they just accidentally click through their turn last turn? I'm going to believe that they drew that for turn. So I'm going to keep this Talisman because I do need some lands in order to get this Micromancer into play, which will get me either an Ephemerate or an Angel's Grace as needed. And now we have the ability to go get something with Troll next turn. We could even potentially play the Micromancer next turn, but it depends on what they do. If they play a creature, I'm probably priced into killing it. They've been a DRC. Let's see what else they play. Mountain. And it's a Desperate Ritual. Okay. Goblins or something? Bergie. Okay. Well, we don't need to do that now. We don't need to do that now. So I'm gonna use this, or cycle this Troll. We can get probably this Godless Shrine, because we need the white. Ending, we could just ending the Bergie for 3. I think I like that, honestly. The alternative is what? Yeah. I'm gonna ending this Bergie for 3. Blue, black, and white. And just pass. And we have a Scam Solitude held up. So if they go like double DRC or something like that, we just have it covered. I don't suspect they're actually going to, though. So now we have the interesting decision of, do we cycle our Eagles? I don't think I want to go Shields down yet. So Amiri's Call does give us a second white, so we could potentially hardcast the Solitude as needed. I think it is worth taking the 3 here to hold up the scammed Solitude, although I don't think it's very likely we're going to need the scammed Solitude. It's really more about we could get Angel's Grace. Yeah, I think it's just Angel's Grace. It's really more about the fact that I don't think I need the life. So now, if we get some sort of flicker effect, or we can Malakir the Micromancer if it's about to die, and we can... Okay, so they're playing a Seek the Beast. That's fine. Necromancer DRC. All right. So yeah, so we can Malakir the Micromancer if it's about to die, and then that lets us go get another Spoils, which would let us Grace spoils for the win. They have an Necromancer, sure. Yep. DRC. Oh, Reckless Impulse. Okay, we'll let them have that. They didn't play a land yet this turn, so they could definitely have another land. What'd they hit? They have a Strike It Rich, they request, and the Scalding Tarn. So they could play the Scalding Tarn. It's just, what are they playing here? Okay, they're playing their Questing Druid. Okay. Land. So I think here I do go for the Solitude play. And just get some of their stuff off the board. We're going to take out the Necromancer. And then we'll Malakir the Solitude. Take out the Questing Druid. I mean, we do have 6 damage per turn coming in here. That's a Surveil land. If we're feeling particularly aggressive, we could Spoils for an Ephemerate. I think that's a little risky. I don't love that. They just have 1 card in hand, and then like Scalding Tarn, Strike It Rich. I don't think they're particularly likely to be able to go off from here. Yeah, I mean, alright, they're cycling a Metamorphose, but like I said, we have 6 power. So this is not that slow of a clock. Yeah, I mean, Strike It Rich probably. Oh, they have another Seek the Beast. I mean, that's decent, but Bauble Strike It Rich is not doing them anything this turn. And they scoop. Okay, so we pick up a win over the Red-Green Storm. With not even our combo plan, although we were pretty close to having the combo plan. We had a lot of very good top decks. I mean, any of our 3 Spoils, any of the 4 Ephemerate, any of the 4 Oracle. So that's at the bare minimum 11 very good draws. Wishclaw, 12. So I think 12 cards that would win us the game off the top. So we had a better than 25% on every draw step we saw. All right, round 3. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so round number 3. We have a 1-lander, so even though we have all of our combo pieces, and we are also on the play, I don't think we can keep this, unfortunately. This is better. I think I'm actually going to ship the Troll, because double Micromancer... Well, no, I think I am going to ship a Micromancer, because... Yeah, I mean, double Micromancer is a little bit slow. It does potentially represent the full combo, but I don't know that I can afford to keep it. So we're going to go to my main, play a Watery Grave tapped. I'm playing this tapped, even though I could use the Troll. Next turn, I'm going to Godless Shrine Talisman, and I'm almost certainly not going to need to spend this Talisman mana on anything. So I can just use this Troll next turn. We do miss 1 turn of thinning by 1, but I think it's more likely that the 2 life is relevant than that is relevant. And there's always the chance that I like draw Grief and want it as a discard or something. So our opponent is on a Thundering Falls Bauble deck, suggesting maybe Murktide. Some sort of Prowess. We draw a Solitude. That's a decent pickup. I mean, it could be good if our opponent is Murktide. Troll now can go get something that would let us play Micromancer, which would be nice. Micromancer then gets us... probably we just get Spoils. Mountain Thundering Falls means that this is not Counterspell. Oh, I just didn't use the Troll. That was stupid. I just clicked through my end step. Or through their end step. So here I'm going to get the Snow-Covered Island. I am just going to go for the Micromancer. And I mean, if they counter it, then so what, you know? they don't, well, suddenly we have a Spoils of the Vault. We're closer to having our combo. And we've got a 3/3 in play. We've basically played a... oh, they've bolted our Micromancer. Look at that. That's a bolt that could have gone face, but instead they hit our Micromancer. Expressive iteration, so this is feeling more and more like Murktide. Solitude is pretty nice against Murktide. Another nice thing about playing Solitudes in this deck, we don't care about our opponent's life total, right? So, okay, now if we draw a Oracle here, we win. If we draw a Spoils, I become sad because we should have won. Okay, so I can just hardcast a Grief, and I think that's what I'm going to do. The question is, do I cycle this troll first? I think I do. Get like a basic swamp, and then play that, and then play Grief, and now I have the ability to hardcast Solitude. So they have Swift Spear, Dart, Breach, Heat. So Breach is what I'm most concerned about, so I'm going to take the Breach. So they are Prowess. So, I mean, they don't have any, what's it called, any, outright, like, combo-y things. They're heating our Grief. Yes, we expect that. They have Bauble. Yes, that's 3 more. So we're at 9. I'm probably going to have to pitch a Grace to this Solitude. And then still not be alive. They have Dart and then Flashback Dart. So that's, I'm going to be at, they're going to have Exactsies here. They have 0 cards in their hand at least. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. They had a very powerful hand. And we're not dead, but we're effectively dead. Make them commit, even because again, the life total doesn't matter. This does put us to 5. And they're going to have 2 cards in their hand next turn. It's so grim from here. We basically need to draw like Micromancer, I guess. Sewers is not it. That's also not it. Although, no, that's still not it. I think it just has to be Micromancer. I mean, maybe if they just brick here and they have all lands, we could still draw Micromancer, but no, that's going to do it. All right, so they had a very powerful hand there, and they got us, and sometimes that happens. So we've got Fatal Push. We definitely want that. Leyline can be good, but it can also just do nothing. Spell Pierce is sort of in the same camp. Echoing Truth, Thoughtseize, also interesting considerations. What don't I need? Micromancer, probably. And they're not really, like, taking out the cards I have in my hand. Maybe Shaver Ring, it's a little bit slow. I feel like I like just, like, having removal. Maybe another ring. And maybe we trim, like, 1 Grief. Well, no, Grief is good. Maybe it's another Micromancer. No, maybe it's another... it's another ring. Yeah, I mean, the Pierces could be good. Again, I just don't really have the slots. Sometimes Pierce is not that good against Prowess. Thoughtseize, I don't want to take the life loss. How do I feel about this? So, I mean, turn 1, I can archive. Turn 2, troll, cycle, get another land. Turn 3, yeah, this can do something. Potentially ending on turn 2. Let's see what we draw. A Delta. Yeah, I will take another land here. We have Grace. Micromancer Ephemerate does get us the full combo if we get to 5 mana with it. So they bin a dart. Now I'm going to fetch. Get a basic, yeah, the snow-covered island, because we have the black anyway, and the troll represents basic swamp. Again, I'm trying to avoid taking damage. So here on the end step, I will cycle the troll. Got a preordain. Maybe they like play a Soulscar Mage out, like land Soulscar Mage, and then I can like cycle troll. Maybe get a Undercity Sewers. Oh, dear C, sure. Here I'm going to get Sewers with the idea of next turn I'm ending this DRC, I'm playing the Sewers, I'm not playing the Micromancer yet. They have like Surgical or something? I'm not really sure why they're waiting in our upkeep. I want a Surgical Troll and a Delta be my guest. Totally fine with that. Draw another Troll. Okay, so I'm gonna Sewers. Don't need a Talisman. Well, ending this DRC. And then next turn we're looking at Troll and then Micromancer Ephemerate, grab double spoils, and then go for it the turn after. And our opponent is still just on 2 lands. They do have the Lava Dart in the yard, so I mean maybe they have like some sort of nuts hand, but so far I don't see sort of evidence for it. The Micromancer also does represent being a blocker, which is nice. Or eating a lightning bolt, which also is nice. We're gonna hit us for 2. Oh, 3. Alright, sure. I mean, Breach could definitely be annoying, depending on what they have. Next turn, I mean. So we'll cycle the Troll, get a Swamp. I don't need more than 1 white mana. So we'll draw. I'm not sure what they are getting rid of here. Nice thing about Micromancer, well, Micromancer Ephemerate. I will Ephemerate right away while they are tapped out, because I don't want to get the Micromancer like bolted in response. This Talisman is not what we need at all. So we get a spoils. I could also get an ending and just ending the Swift Spear, but that just feels a little bit like, what's the follow-up plan? Then here I can get another spoils. And again, I have all the pieces now, so if I don't die, and they don't have counter magic, and I think they're not that, I mean, they could have like a Spell Pierce, but we'll see what they do. I mean, having extra spoils is good. DRC, sure. Bolt on the Micromancer, also sure. So end step, they're holding up a blue mana, which has me a little concerned. We have Solitude. We could just like, well, no, we can't just play a Solitude. Don't have the mana. Question is, do we go for it here? I mean, I think if we go for it, we're very likely dead to Spell Pierce. But if we don't go for it, do we get another turn? Or, I mean, maybe we have to, like, Solitude one of these things. That's also very bad. So I could lead on Spoils. If I lead on spoils for Oracle, and I play the Oracle, I'm trying to think of a world where like they use their Pierce early. So I like spoils for Oracle, then I Grace, then I spoils again, and they Pierce it. What do I have? I have nothing. I'm just taking that risk. I think we just have to go for it, because I think there's a decent chance we're dead next turn. So I'm gonna pull the trigger. I think it's likely they have interaction that's going to stop us here, but I think the chances of us surviving the next turn are low. And so far they're just kind of passing. I did that in the wrong order. I'm definitely dead. I mean, they could have Mystical Dispute here. Oh, they don't. What do they have? They have Vapor Snag. That doesn't matter. That does not matter at all. All right, so we do pick up the second game. So tight games against Prowess. Let's see what else we can do here. Thoughtseize, I still think is not where we want to be. Truth, maybe a little bit more worth thinking about, and or Pierce. Pierce. Oh, no, I think we're just gonna run like this. Just gonna run it back. So what do we have here? We've got a Scammed Grief. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Gonna play, yeah, play Soul Scar, okay. Spoils is a decent pickup. So I can play Strand, then I have to fetch an untapped white, or I play a Miria's Call, and then I just scam the Grief based on that. So I'm going to do that, because I'm probably going to need to play this Shocked next turn for 3 life to play this Talisman, whereas the Flooded Strand I could potentially get a basic, but I can't get a basic white, so we'll Grief, pitch Troll, stack the Evoke under the discard. So they have Vapor Snag and some creatures. I'm going to take the Vapor Snag, and we're going to Ephemerate the Grief. Then we'll take the Darcy or the Swift Spear. We'll take the Darcy. The Surveil gives them card quality. Okay, I mean, good stuff. We have 2/3 of our combo. We've got a Grief. If they attack, I will block. So they've got a Soul Scar. Got a Swift Spear. And they're not attacking. Alright. We will Ephemerate this Grief. They have a land. Alright, so I am going to play this Surveil, even though we have this Talisman, just because I don't... Yeah, we don't need Eagles. I don't, like, immediately need to develop my mana. So... Alright, again, if they attack, I will block. I will trade Grief for whatever spell they have in hand. And they're not. Alright. Another Grief. So here I play the Talisman and I leave open the ability to fetch a Surveil land, which is almost certainly what I'm going to do. And then I can hardcast another Grief if I need to next turn. And this does open the possibility that if they have like 2 spells they could get us. What do they have? They have Seek the Beast, okay. I mean, they're not getting the Prowess triggers for it here, though. Let's see what they exile. They exile Heat Expressive. Alright, so I mean, they are going to kill our Grief. We do need to find something that is going to win us the game soon, because this is a lot of damage, and while I will survive this turn, I don't think I'm going to survive next turn. They're going to heat our Grief, certainly, yes. We're taking 9, going to 8. Even like a Bolt or something doesn't do it. A Lava Dart would actually kill us. We're going to Surveil. Sewers. Solitude is not it. Talisman is also not it. I have to take a damage from this. This feels awful. I think we're looking at being dead here. Probably a Bolt. Oh, Surveillant, okay. I ditch a Soul Scar. Take this Expressive. So they don't know their top card. Bolt doesn't actually do it. So we have Blocker. Oh no, Bolt does do it because they can Bolt our Grief. They're playing Questing Druid, they played a land. What else do they have? They have Heat. Yeah, Heat hits us for 6 and we're dead. Alright, well they had the draw that they needed. So I mean, like we had a decent game there, it's just that they had so many creatures. I don't know. I mean, we could have taken out 2 creatures instead of the Vapor Snag, but then the Grief gets Vapor Snagged, and that just seems worse. I don't know. Close game. I mean, game 1, they just kind of had the nuts. Game 2, did they mull to 5? No, they didn't. I don't know. Anyway, round 4. Let's see what happens. All right, so round number 4. We have a turn 1 Grief Scam. I'm going to keep that. And then we've got like turn 2 Talisman, and then hopefully like turn 3 Micromancer and start to build combo pieces. Or maybe we get another Ephemerate and then just like loop more Grief Scam. So either one of those I think I'm pretty okay with. So we play the Emeria. And we Grief, pitch Grief. What can I take now? Okay, so we're up against Tron. We've got Mine, Power Plant, Boseiju. So we can take the Stirrings. And then we will scam this to take the O-Stone. Alright, we've got a Grief in play. We've crippled our opponent's Tron finding ability. They do have 2 of their 3 Tron pieces in hand, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But next turn we are going to get to Ephemerate the Grief again and take their Ugin, or if they found like a Sylvan Scrying or something like that, we can get it. So we will cast this, even though it does slow our clock. I think it is worth it. I found a One Ring, so I'm going to get rid of that. And they have Mine, Boseiju. Grace is a pickup. Card that we can cast. And now we're looking for lands to play this Micromancer. Hopefully they don't just top deck the natural Tron. Okay, they have the map. So they don't have the Ugin next turn. So they have to use some of their mana to play it, but it's still annoying. So here, we probably get blue-white, I guess, Hollow Fountain. And if we get the Micromancer and we get an Ephemerate, we could potentially Ephemerate this Grief or Ephemerate the Micromancer, and either one of those is kind of good. I think I'm going to get an Ephemerate. And okay, sure, they get Tron here. But again, we retain the ability to, well, they're going to get Tron, they're not going to really be able to play anything. And then we can potentially Ephemerate away this Ugin, or we can Ephemerate, go get like a double spoils. Let's see what we draw. I could also Ephemerate Grief them on their draw step, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, they have to spend 2 mana to go get their tower here. And then they will have 3 mana. But Boseiju doesn't really matter. We can just go get a basic. Oh, they just naturally drew the tower. Okay, sure. I mean, that does mean that the only threat that they have in hand is Ugin, which is nice. That's an interesting draw. So step 1 is we attack. I think we have to draw step Grief. Or draw step Ephemerate the Grief. You can take the Ugin or, you know, whatever else they got if they got something good. And then next turn we can potentially Ephemerate either the Micromancer or the Grief, depending on what we need. They're searching with their map now? Okay, so they did just get another land, so I'm going to take the Ugin. So that's good. I mean, yeah, they can go search for something with map. Well, then we can flicker the Micromancer on our turn. So they drew another tower. They have 8 million mana. Flicker the Micromancer. Probably get a spoils. Could also get another Ephemerate. And then just Grief Ephemerate, or draw step Ephemerate them again. It's a little bit like, I mean, again, knowing they have no cards in hand, if they find nothing, then I guess it's okay. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do that. Because if I draw a land, that's especially good. Okay, so that sets us up for next turn. So I'm not going to play this ring. I am going to attack with the Grief, and then we're going to draw step Ephemerate the Grief. Try and take whatever they draw. And then on our upkeep, we Ephemerate our Micromancer, we get spoils, and then we have the combo next turn. So we didn't even need this ring. I was figuring, you know, there's a decent chance I draw land, in which case I can play the ring and then still hold up Ephemerate. Or if not, you know, I can sort of continue to do this Micromancer Grief Ephemerate chain for a minute and maybe make something happen off of that, but didn't have anything, so that's good. Right now, I mean, again, they have Tron, but we know that their hand is kind of dead. On the draw step, again, we will Ephemerate the Grief. Let's see what you got. They drew another land. Okay. They've got all of the mana that they could ever need. Nothing to do with it. Alright, upkeep, we've got Ephemerate Micromancer. Go get the spoils. This has been a really cool game, really sort of illustrating some of the power of what we're doing here. Here we're going to go get spoils, draw for turn, and we've got Oracle, hold priority. We know you don't have anything. What are they messaging us? Messages? These draws are wild? Alright, I mean, maybe they didn't realize that we were tutoring for things with the Micromancer. I don't know. That's on them. There's a reason the chat stays hidden. Alright. 3-1, and that was a really sweet game. Let's go to the next. Okay, so again, yeah, we're sideboarding. For some reason I thought that was the match, but it is not the match. Against Tron, I like Thoughtseize. Spell Pierce can be okay. Truth could be okay, but again, we're limited in how many things we want to get rid of. But Solitude is really not at its best here, so that's a pretty easy cut. The artifact mana, we do just need to be fast, so I think I do kind of have to leave that. The ring is maybe also not at its best, so maybe we'll cut the ring. Ending can be okay, but I think ultimately it's not worth it. And I don't think I need both truths. I think I'm just going to keep one as like a flex option. So, yeah, we're up a game. Got our Thoughtseizes now. We can discard them a whole bunch. I don't know if they were saying their draws are wild or that our draws are wild, actually. That theirs maybe is, but then we were just discarding them no matter what, so I don't know. I think they didn't realize how Micromancer works, maybe. But, I mean, look, they top-decked turn 3 Tron, turn 3 natural Tron, after we took away their ability to have turn 3 natural Tron by killing their Ancient, or, well, Ancient Stirrings isn't a full tutor, but yeah, they then top-decked map, and then they didn't even need the map because they top-decked the tower, so they kind of don't get to complain. Alright, we've got a turn 1 Grief Scam, so let's do it. The nice thing about the Ephemerate Grief Scam against Tron is that very often you get to capitalize. It's not like they play removal, right? So like you get to capitalize on the full 3 cards discarded, which is nice. Let's see what they've got. They've got Mine and Star. All right. So hopefully they have like a Sylvan Scrying that we're going to take. That's my intent here. Picking up a Talisman is decent. Something that we can play on turn 2. We'll go get a Godless Shrine. We'll cast Grief. Stack the Evoke. Take their Sylvan Scrying, take their Warping Wail, and then next turn we'll take their O-Stone. All right, yeah. So I mean, next turn they have O-Stone Forest Tower, and they have okay. So they play the tower, so they have O-Stone Forest, 1 unknown, soon to be 2 unknowns with whatever they draw from the star. We can definitely grief away the O-Stone if that matters. If that doesn't matter as much, we can potentially grief away something else if something else is more important. And again, we're just going to go Island Talisman and then hope to draw our 4th land to get this 1 ring into play. So Grief has been a friend to this game. Alright. So our rebound is happening. Tron can't really interact with that so easily. And let's see what they've got. They picked up more O-Stones and then a Karn Great Creator. They do not have Tron. I think I'm more concerned about Karn than I am about these O-Stones. Like, do I really care about O-Stone? No. They also can't crack it as easily, so... Ring is indestructible. And yeah, they could get like a Talisman or something, but whatever. Yeah, they're still a couple lands away from being able to crack it, so I should be able to have time to get this ring into play. So yeah, they play an O-Stone, sure. But our turn. Interesting thing is, will we play Micromancer or the ring if we draw the land? Oh, we didn't, so choice doesn't matter. Spoils is a decent pickup. I mean, I could think about spoilsing for a land. I really should be playing a 4 of land in this deck. I'm not. It's a little bit hard though when you're playing the fetch mana base, because like the 4 of I guess would be Polluted Delta, but like I've already used a Polluted Delta, so I only have 2 Polluted Deltas. I could no, I only have 3 Trolls. Troll doesn't work either as a spoils target. Yeah, it's not worth going for the spoils here, I don't think. So we're just gonna pass. And we're gonna look for drawing our land, hopefully, so that we can play the ring and or Micromancer. They have a map, so they can go get their Tron completion. They have O-Stone and 1 unknown in hand. Now this is a little bit annoying because it will blow up our Talisman, so we really do need to draw the land this turn. That's only kind of a land. We will Swamp Cycling it. We can play a Surveil land. We'll get a Sewers. Play the Sewers. If I want another Talisman, I don't. We'll attack with all creatures, and we'll see how they feel about blowing this O-Stone, like now. I mean, maybe they just blow the O-Stone, play a new O-Stone. I mean, it does, like, stunt our mana, but it feels a little bit risky. They're just playing a new O-Stone? Oh, they're playing a Scrying. Yeah, I mean, sure. They still have 8 mana, so they could still make the same play after playing a tower. They have 1 unknown in hand in addition to the O-Stone. I'm reading this as they don't have anything too scary, because well, no, that would have just neutraled or added the mana. Okay, so it looks like they are cracking the O-Stone. Sure. And then they're going to play a new O-Stone. And then they have 1 card in hand. This O-Stone doesn't matter that much. It is why I bin the Talisman, because like if I play another Talisman and then they crack the O-Stone, then I'm sort of set back to square one. So I really need to be drawing a land here. And that kind of counts. So Troll. I think I will actually take Troll because it lets me like draw Troll, develop another land, and then I get to Micromancer for spoils. And that should probably do it. And we need them to not like play something disastrous, but for the most part, I think that should be okay. And then I have Grace Spoils with 5 mana. And they can go get a swamp with this. Question is, what are they going to What is their one card in hand? I don't think they can really counter the swamp cycling, so I'm not sure what this is about. Maybe they're going to Beseiju something. And if that's the case, actually I'm going to get the Water Grave. It's like if they Beseiju, then it doesn't matter. I can go get the swamp and I still have 5 lands. It doesn't matter what they Beseiju because I have enough colors of mana anyway. If I Micromancer here, go get the spoils. We should just be fine. I mean, yeah, they could. I guess Karn would be the scariest thing they could get, but what would they even go get with it? Karn go get. Well, they could Karn go get like Chalice on 1, maybe. Karn go get Stonebrain would be bad. So we can go get. Yeah, we'll go get a spoils. And now we are poised to win next turn. Yeah, sure, they can crack this O-Stone. They've killed our Micromancer with an O-Stone. Totally fine. I think I definitely would be interested in seeing if we could squeeze some Persists into this deck, like either Persist back Troll, Persist back Grief. Persist seems like it could be an interesting card. We're sort of still just playing like a Reanimator. Okay, so that's a redraw. Did they get anything interesting? Like Ugin would be fine. Big Karn would be a little annoying. O-Stone is totally fine. Alright, so Talisman is not needed. We just have everything we need here. So we have, I'll go like this. So we've got Grace. I mean, they could, I guess, have a Warping Whale. Warping Whale would kill us. Well, it wouldn't kill us, but it would reset the game pretty badly. I will spoils for an Oracle and then play the Oracle before playing the second spoil, so potentially hedge against that a little bit if my first spoils doesn't take us to negative life. Yeah, I mean if they drew the second Warping Well, then oh wait, no, it's exile. It's not count. Oh no, it's counter sorcery spell. Yeah, that doesn't matter. I was thinking it was counter creature. I was thinking it was like Stern Scolding. I don't know why I was thinking that. All right, we have to get a Thassa's Oracle here. And then I need to play the other spoils with the Godless Shrine, and that's actually very relevant. I don't want to like accidentally tap myself off of blue mana. I should have really played this one off the Godless Shrine. It still doesn't matter. Even if I have a Beseiju, I can just like float mana, so it's totally fine. So Beseiju doesn't do it. Okay. Thassa's Oracle. Does take us to negative. I'm gonna Oracle. Then let it resolve, and with the trigger on the stack, spoils again. And I mean, they can kill it, but it doesn't matter because our library will be empty. They could crack their O-Stone, they could play a Warping Whale, none of that matters. So we get there against Tron. So I was a little premature thinking we won the match after the first game, but you know, we got it now. So round 5, we're 3-1. This deck has been feeling great. I'm super happy with this, and so far, I mean, even if we get absolutely demolished in the last round, I think this is definitely something I'm going to be iterating with going forward. Okay, so we are here in the last round, and our opening hand, this doesn't do a whole lot. It does develop our mana with these trolls. Ephemerate is good. On the play, I think am I keeping this? No, I'm gonna mulligan that. This is better. It's keep, get rid of the Solitude. And we're looking at trying to just develop this Micromancer on turn 3 and set up a nice turn 4 win. So at the end of the first turn here, we're going to get a Surveil land. And then we'll go Swamp Talisman on 2. Our opponent has mirrored our Flooded Strand with a Flooded Strand of their own. We can get the Meticulous Archive. Ephemerate is really not what I need. So now we look like the... Oh, and we get a land via this Eagles, so that's perfect. We have turn 3 Micromancer lined up. So we look like the Atraxa deck now, which is cool. But now it's an Atraxa deck playing Talisman, so our opponent is maybe questioning what is happening there a little bit. And so they have a Savari Triome. Not playing Swamp, so I guess not playing Swamp. It could be Zoo. It could definitely be Zoo. Halfling. Not entirely sure what this is. I'm going to Plain Cycle with the Eagles. And we can go get a Hallowed Fountain? Or do I... Yeah, I guess the Hallowed Fountain. Okay, another Angel's Grace. Alright, so we're playing the Micromancer. We can go get spoils, and we are just set up for next turn, so hopefully our opponent just does something like fairly inconsequential, like maybe plays the ring or something, and then we just get there. So yeah, we get spoils. Now the jig is up. Now they probably, I mean, when you see spoils, nothing fair is happening with spoils. We're an Esper deck, so that should scream that we're playing Grace Oracle spoils. We haven't had any Ephemerate Oracle lines yet. I feel like we've drawn far fewer Oracles than we have of our other combo pieces, which is a little bit unfortunate, but definitely, you know, something that is just totally possible. So our opponent has got an Expressive Iteration. I like that because they're tapped out and then they're further incentivized to play things on their turn. I don't know what plays Halfling Iteration. Maybe like an Omnath deck of some kind? Or like... Yeah, what? I mean, sure, I guess. This... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could play the Grief here first in order to, like, clear the way. Do I think that they have anything that can meaningfully interact with me here, though? I kind of think no. So, I mean, what do we really lose if they stop? So, alright, so maybe I'm going to play the Oracle and then see what they do. And if they counter our spoils, we still have a Grace. We can maybe claw our way back with some sort of Ephemerate plan. Okay, they concede. So we'll take that. Let's go to sideboarding. Not really too sure how to sideboard here. I mean, I saw Halfling, so maybe that suggests that I want some removal. But they could also be ramping out like the Ring or like Teferi or something like that. They seem a little bit slower as a deck, but... I mean, maybe it's... Oh, no, Solitude... I kind of want to like maybe trim a Solitude for like a Thoughtseize, but for the most part, yeah, maybe in Halfling, yeah, okay, maybe we go like this, just one Solitude for one Thoughtseize. All right, what do we have? We have a turn 1 Grief Scam, and then we have a follow-up Micromancer on hopefully turn 3 if we draw a land. So that's pretty good. So they've got turn 1 Breeding Pool, and then Halfling. Okay, so they're accelerating something out. So here, I think I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to play the Emeria. Grief. I could play the Hallowed because I'm probably going to have to play that untapped anyway. But it kind of doesn't matter, and there's a chance I don't have to play the Emeria. Okay, so they've got Teferi, Nissa, and then the Ring. So I'm going to take Teferi. They can't play the Ring next turn. And that means that I can Ephemerate and then take their Nissa, and then next turn when the Ephemerate comes off, I can take their Ring. So they've got nothing in hand. Got the Grief Mega Scam with Ephemerate. So they've got land, and then hopefully they don't remove our Grief. Also get the information, which is lovely and nice. So here we get their Ring. Oh, they drew an Omnath. Would I rather them have Omnath, or would I rather them have the Ring? Honestly, I think I'd rather them have the Omnath. That was a very good draw on their part, though. Okay, so I'm going to play the Hallowed Fountain with the idea of next turn I can get a... next turn I can get a Surveil land with this Flooded Strand. Or, actually no, probably I'm just going to be playing this Micromancer. But let's see. So they're going to get a Surveil land. Get rid of an ending, sure. And let's play the Omnath, pass. Solitude, Micromancer, we do have the Thoughtseize, but we don't have anything that actually answers Omnath. We don't have pushes in our deck right now. So I think it's probably going to be... Oh, I could just delay a turn on getting the Micromancer, and then when I get the Micromancer, I could get Ephemerate, try to go nuts with like Ephemerate Micromancer. Opponent would have to play 3 lands in a turn. I don't think that's that likely next turn. They did use their Heath. They did use the Wooded Foothills. So I don't know anything in their hand. Let's see what we draw. Okay, Ephemerate. Ephemerate is interesting. I could Ephemerate a Grief on their draw step. I think I'm likely to do that. I definitely want to play this Micromancer to start capitalizing on the Ephemerate loops. So here I need to get a land that makes... Probably have to get Watery Grave. Yeah, it's Watery Grave. So now, yeah, oh wait, no, I can't. Oh, I punted that. If I want to Ephemerate, I shouldn't be... Yeah, I shouldn't be, and then I also punted that by using a... Yeah. I was thinking I was going to play the Micromancer and Ephemerate, but I can't do both in one turn. So I should have gotten a Surveil land. So I just took a random extra 2 damage that I absolutely did not need to take. And missed out on a Surveil. And because I tapped badly, I'm going to take another extra damage here off the Talisman. So if I lose this by like 3 damage or something, this is totally on me. Hopefully I won't, though. They do have a lot of sorcery speed stuff, so I'm a little hopeful that this Ephemerate could make something happen. Alternately, though, I could save the Ephemerate and then Micromancer, because like if I get a double Grief Ephemerate, how good is that really? I think I can't afford to let them draw cards that do things, though. So I'm going to go for an Ephemerate on the Grief. If they have like a Ring or another Omnath or something. Now maybe they have like Leyline Binding. Okay, they don't. So another Omnath or a Teferi. So I'm going to take the Teferi. They can play another Omnath if they want. They have Omnath Flooded Strand. I'm totally okay with them playing the other Omnath. And they'll draw a card, sure. Maybe I should have thought about blocking. I guess no, because I do get to flicker the Grief and take whatever they drew. They gain some life. That doesn't matter. They're making mana now, though. Oh, yeah. I mean, they could play like a ring or something. That would be annoying. Shana's Tidebinder, but I mean, okay, they're just getting it out of their hands so that I don't kill it. Sure. Okay. So I get a Micromancer. Alright, so there's no point in ephemerating this Grief. I don't want to... Yeah, I mean, there's just no point. So now I can play a Micromancer. And I'm going to go get an Ephemerate. And then I'm going to Ephemerate the Micromancer after blocking. And that should get me Spoils plus Grace when the Ephemerate comes off. I mean, I do need them to draw like a blank here. So if they draw like Leyline Binding or something, then they get us. So hopefully it's not Leyline Binding. That would be bad. But if it's like anything else, I think we're okay. Grief on the Tashanas, Micromancer here. We're going to get priority and blockers. We're going to Ephemerate our Micromancer. We're going to pray for no Leyline Binding. Okay. Alright, so that's good. So this comes in. We go get a Spoils. Yeah, we'll go get a Spoils. Those trade. We go to our turn. And then this Ephemerate comes off. Now the interesting thing is, what do we get? Because we could get another Ephemerate. And if we do that, then we can potentially get our whole combo. If they have removal, they do get us. They don't have like another Tidebinder. I think that is probably worth it. Because like the alternative, I get something else and then I have to hope to top deck removal. I don't think that's as likely. So we draw for turn. So yeah, so we can Ephemerate on the block, get like Grace, and then Ephemerate on the upkeep, get Spoils, and just have the combo. So we just need to fade one more draw out of them. Eagles of the North is really not what we need. I mean, it is a blocker that we could play next turn. I could get a Surveil land, but the problem is I'm really not going to get to capitalize on the Surveil of it. So I'm actually not going to play this right now. Things go wrong, it's a blocker I could play. I could also like end step go get a Surveil land, maybe. Depending on like if something goes wrong with my Ephemerating. Alright, so again, we need to fade one draw. I mean, maybe they had something good last time, but they didn't use it, so. Barry? Barry would be a little annoying. Okay, so now we have to Ephemerate this now. So we will go get an Angel's Grace. And then I can cycle the Eagles, but I don't have to do it yet. So we'll see what they do as far as making us like pick something up. Okay, so they're bouncing in Talisman. It's not a big deal. They have a land, so they get some mana. I think I block here. Oh, they didn't. They just clicked through. Alright, so I'm gonna cycle this Eagles. Get the archive. I have a surveil. Can't cast it because it's fairy. Draw for turn. Spoils or Oracle? Amiria's Call. I mean, I think we're dead now. Oh, that's interesting. Because basically what I'm thinking about is damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. Well, so I'm figuring they do have a triple land. Do I burn this spoils to get this ring? I think I actually... Oh. Do I or do I? Because, okay, so if they have removal for the Micromancer, then they could hit us with Omnath, 3 lands, kill us. If they don't have removal for the Micromancer, this is not to each creature. It's to each opponent. So they would take 4, we could chump the Omnath with the Micromancer, next turn play the ring, and then have 2 of our combo pieces in hand. I think I'm going to put this on top, but I'm not going to... Yeah, I'm not going to play the ring. And if they have removal for the Micromancer, then they do kill us. I guess we could Grace and go to 1. And then we could ring pass. They're fetching on end step, which is a little weird. Now they're getting rid of their ability to deal the 4. Which, again, feels weird. That's what I was sort of most concerned about. I mean, they do have this Teferi, which is definitely annoying. We could also hardcast this Amiria's Call, funny enough. Ren and 6. I mean, sure. Kind of banking on the game not going that long. Got a Flooded Strand back. Some more land, some more life. 1 card in hand. They're just passing the attack again? Really? Why are they not attacking into the Micromancer? That feels crazy to me. Like, what trick are they possibly worried about? Alright, so we can play the ring here. And we will draw. And we can play a Talisman. I actually am going to hold back this Ephemerate Call, because if I draw bad next turn, I just am going to play it as a blocker. Maybe they don't want like the Teferi to get attacked is the thing. It could be that. But then they still have the Halfling. They could chump. They should be putting the pressure on us here. So they're surveilling with the Thundering Falls. We've got a couple more draws coming in with this ring. We have 4 of our Talismans in play, which is certainly something. Turn 7, grindy game. The Ren doesn't really do anything here. The Teferi still doesn't exactly do anything, but it could do, you know, the bounce could get a little bit annoying. They're picking up more lands, sure. Another land, yes. They have 8 million life. Maybe they have like a Dovin's Veto or something, and they're just really protecting their ability to try to win with that. I don't know. We are going to lose some life to our ring. control. Okay, I mean, we have Grief Scam here. So I guess we have Grief Scam play Amiria's Call. I mean, we can see if we need to scam Grief based on whatever else is happening here. I can't actually scam the Grief because of this Teferi. Alright, well, still. They do have the ability to hit us for 3. We do have the ability to upkeep Grace, potentially. Let's see what they're playing. They're flashing Endurance. Okay. It's fine. So that's maybe what they were holding up as interaction. They have a Forest. Our Grief is gone. Now I'm going to cast Amiria's Call. Oh, I can't upkeep. Okay. Yeah, now we're dead, actually. Because I can't upkeep the ring because the fairy is in play. Alright, well, I mean, we'll see if they go for it. They have been fetching on the end step, so maybe they, oh, they do fetch on the end step again. And I think that is, I mean, they just have us dead here. That's definitely a big mistake on their part. See what Teferi does. We did at least get the Endurance out of their hand with the Grief. Blockers, so that's powerful. We're going to take 2 to the ring. They could hit us for 1 with a Wrenn. Yeah, they bring a land back, so it's land. What did they get? Did they... I don't know when that Omnath was revealed. When did they reveal an Omnath? Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. Okay, they have a ring, so that's not a big deal. It's basically do or die next turn for us. We just need to draw either Spoils or Oracle. Gaining some land. They're up at 44. They're plussing the Teferi. Drawing a card with the ring. I mean, if they found like another Endurance, they could conceivably get us that way. What else do they have? Like something. Chalice on 1. Excuse me? That's hateful. That is probably game ending. What did I board in? No, I didn't bring in the Echoing Truths. I mean, we'll draw some cards and see, but I think that's just it. I don't think we have an answer to that. Okay, so I mean, we do have... So we could kill Teferi. Grace on the upkeep. Oh, but this Chalice. I mean, even if we, like, kill Teferi, these 2 angels, play Troll, Oracle, we're gonna die to our own ring. That doesn't do it. And we actually would have had it if not for the Chalice there. Yeah, and we have no... Yeah, we just have no outs. Alright. That's a little rough. Okay, so what do I want? I want Ending in the face of Chalice. Thoughtseize can be good, but I think I'm not as 100% sold on it. 1 Echoing Truth, maybe. And Pierce, again, can be good. I don't know that I would call it critical. We could cut a little bit of this mana. We don't need to be as fast on the mana. What do I want instead there? Maybe we do want the Solitude back. Maybe we do want... some... Want Spell Pierce? Probably not. Do we want Thoughtseize? Thoughtseize can be good. I mean, I think we maybe want at least one Thoughtseize. Maybe we go like this. Alright, so we've got some lands. Got 2/3 of our combo. We've got threats in the ring. Yeah, we'll keep this. So turn 1 we'll go for Surveil land, and then turn 2 it is probably Troll, get other Surveil land, which means we're going to get the blue-white Surveil land this turn. And then the Troll will fetch out blue-black, and then we can play it. Depending on what we surveil, we may change that plan up. So for example, I guess they've got a halfling. Oh, I clicked through my turn. Lovely. Good stuff. Alright, so that does change the plans. That means we're going to play Swamp, and then we're going to fetch on end step, and then search a Surveil with the Troll. We're going to just keep dramming like rings and Micromancers until something sticks. So next turn it'll be Surveil. Well, we'll Troll, Shuffle, Search first, and then Surveil. This gets us Sewers. And then we can go get a Meticulous Archive. Don't need another Micromancer. Another Grace is kind of whatever. It does mean we have multiple combo attempts, which I guess is nice. This is slow. Do we want another Troll? I don't think we do. I think we want to actually just naturally draw the land. I want to be able to start jamming these 4-drops next turn, because I'm assuming our opponent is going to like play a Omnath or play a Ring, and I need to be able to match that with either Micromancer or a Ring of our own. But if we don't have one of those and we just like spend the turn cycling for Troll, I think we're in worse shape. Okay, so they're ditching a Leyline Binding. That suggests that they may already have a Leyline Binding. Omnath? Oh no, they can't. They don't have. They're not making white there. Renin 6. Okay, that's not that concerning. This feels like a counterspell being held up. Notably, still no white mana. Land? Come on, land. That's not land. Well, we need to pass. And we do have the combo at least, so we can potentially just threaten a win if they like tap out or something. That feels like, again, some sort of counterspell being held up. Maybe Dispute, not sure. But yeah, I mean, we needed to hit a land there. Now that we didn't, I think we're in a little bit of a rough spot. So I mean, they could again tap out for like an Omnath or something here. Yeah, they have infinite lands with their Renin 6. That's fine. Feels like they are again holding up interaction. Land? On land. I mean, could have Tidebinder. Fortunately, they didn't. We'll get a Water Grave. Play it tapped. Now, I mean, we are in a position to have 4 lands next turn, so that's good at least. But I'm definitely worried. I mean, hopefully we can sort of burn our way through their interaction with like Micromancer and One Rings. Question of what I'll lead on, I guess it depends on what they do. They've got a pile of lands in hand. They're going to probably tap lower. We do need like a Grief or something like that to sort of work our way through their cards in hand. They have a ring. Okay, I mean, sure. I expect our ring to get countered, which is very bad for us. I think they certainly have like a card that's going to do something bad here. I mean, do we try it? I don't think we do. I think we just try and play a ring. Or we try and play no, I think we try and play a ring. And here it's going to eat like a Dovin's Veto. And then maybe that like convinces them to tap off of stuff. Okay, use a counterspell, sure. Like I said, we just have combo in hand. We just need, yeah, they're able to leverage the mana advantage, and now this ring is going to start going, and that's a little concerning. I mean, this Ren can also get up to 7, and when this Ren ults, then they have counterspell for each land in hand, and I don't know that we're beating that. I mean, I guess if they could tap like very low, but I think next turn we're probably dead due to the Ren. So okay, they just have Chalice, sure. Yeah, we're dead. We just missed lands a couple turns in a row where we just needed to hit them. So I mean, Eagles, we can cycle that and get another land, but it's too little too late here. Hollowed Fountain, sure. And I'll go play a Micromancer. And we can go get a Prismatic Ending if it survives. But, you know. I mean, if we draw a land, we do get to go for it next turn, so maybe they're going to be overconfident. Because we can, like, ending for 2 on the Chalice and then try to get there. Maybe they'll die to their own ring, though. They're not going to die to their own ring. They're going to play like another ring and kill us. Omnath? Sure. So let's see what they do with the Ren. Do they uptick it or do they... Okay, they do. So they have infinite counterspell equal to the number of lands they have in hand. That's pretty terrifying. I mean, I guess it also depends on the number of lands they have in deck. Can they fetch 2 untapped blue sources with these Windswept Heaths? I'm actually not sure. So, I mean, we could Solitude, get rid of the Omnath. So, yeah, let's do that. Then we can hit them with Micromancer. It's going to evoke away, but, I mean, sure. And they're taking damage. So this will put them up to 17, but then we put them back down to... Okay, they're fetching in response, sure. Get the life gain in. Fetching again. Getting mana. Can't really do anything with that now. They have their own Solitude that they're playing. Sure. They're Solituding our Micromancer, I guess? Yeah, that's fine. then the question is, what do we go for here? Do we go for a ring that they can then pitch a counterspell to? Yeah, I think we do. I mean, we're just definitely super dead. Maybe they let this resolve. In which case we do just, they're not going to let it resolve. But force them to continue burning resources, and maybe they like die to their own ring somehow. They're not going to. They're just going to play a new ring. But maybe they like tap low thinking we just like don't have another copy of the ring. So for those of you still watching, we are definitely bleeding out, so feel free to skip ahead to what will be the recap, I'm sure. But other than that, I mean, if you're still hanging out, alright, they've got an Elesh Norn. Some more, alright, they're hitting with the Solitude. They've got 7 damage per turn. So now they are going to outrace the... Oh, they're drawing more. 4. Why did they gain life with that ring? What? Maybe oh, they gained life off of Omnath? I didn't think they were above this, though. Not sure what happened. Another spoils. So, I mean, we'll go for an ending on the Chalice, but... maybe they'll not understand that it doesn't counter it or something. Oh, they just let it happen. Okay, I mean, that's fine. So we'll pass a turn, we'll take 7 and go to 10. And now we have like triple spoils, so if we draw another land, maybe we can make something happen. That's not really what we needed. They definitely have an endurance in hand by now. So we need a way to stop the endurance. Oh, they just have another Chalice? Okay, sure. Alright, we're super dead. I don't know. I'm gonna see what our draw step is, but it's not gonna be anything helpful. Well, I mean, oh, it still doesn't matter. All right. Okay, so we're here with the deck. We ended up losing that last one. Was a close set of games. If we had just drawn a land a little sooner in game 3, I think we definitely could have gotten there. The deck feels really interesting. So there's definitely power in what we're doing with the Grief and the Solitude. I think the sideboard is definitely a bit of a weak point at the moment. I think we should probably have some higher impact cards in here. I just kind of stuck together generic good, or I kind of threw in generic good stuff cards in a mix of white and black so that we kept our pitch ratios consistent. I think there's a little bit more room to play around with dual face maybe. I think we could maybe trim a Talisman. Maybe another Wishclaw or something could be handy. Maybe Step Through for the Micromancer Oracle searching could be useful. Yeah, Step Through probably belongs. That's the Wizard Cycling for 2 mana card. Show that off real quick. So yeah, return 2 target creatures to their owner's hands, Wizard Cycling. And that would get either Micromancer or Oracle. So deck is sweet. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any ideas for directions to move with it. I will definitely be returning to this. Not quite sure what's up next, but until next time, keep cast. Why I say Thassa's Oracle all the time. What can I say here? I don't know. Keep searching out 1-drops with Micromancer and briefing your opponent on their draw step. All right, bye everyone.